Well, to be Capital G here, got a trinity of Revendred duels for you guys to check out. I still think Revendred is a very decent deck. I think I'm actually going to consider playing it on my Saturday stream, although I honestly have no idea when you guys will actually see this video. But it's something that I'm interested in experimenting with because I do like the way that the deck functions, mainly because the Revendred is zombie based, and obviously you get a lot of synergy from like Shiranui Sage and Unizombie, and those cards just allowing you to be able to synchro summon, which means the Achilles heel of ritual decks in the past with like Cyber Angels and even kind of Necroz now is that even with these decks having really great hands, if you run into something like Dimensional Barrier and your opponent calls a ritual, you're just kind of screwed for the rest of the turn. But with the Revendred archetype, obviously you have a bunch of synchro options to fall back on, specifically Omega, which can just be a very powerful card, especially in this deck when Origin ends up protecting your Slayer and it gets banished, you could just put it back in your graveyard for extra protection. So let's go ahead and roll this. There are 3 duels, including a couple of duels against a deck that I would think would be kind of a little bit of a counter to Revendred's. Obviously, I'm talking about Mass Heroes, because if you get Danklaw on the field turn 1, zombies like to be in the graveyard so that they can banish themselves. They don't generally like being banished before hitting the graveyard, so it would be kind of a rough matchup. Now, I don't really know about this. He has 2 copies of Unizombie in his hand. He doesn't normal summon either one of those, doesn't get the Mizuki train going. He actually just sets Remnants and he sets a Solemn Warning, and I don't know, man, I probably would have done something different. But the opponent on the top is actually going to summon Shadow Mist and he's going to mass change. That's going to get hit with Solemn Warning. Now, to me personally, I think this was a major misplay. Not using the Solemn Warning, I think that was actually appropriate. You don't want Darklaw hitting the board turn 1 against you if you're playing Revendreds. What I'm saying is he should have used the Hero Lives. Yes, it would have cost him half his life points, but it's always going to cost you half your life points. The fact is now his Hero Lives cannot be activated because he has a monster stuck on the field, and since he has another Shadow Mist, he basically can't do anything now. Had he done this in the reverse order, had he activated the Hero Lives, that would have gotten hit with Solemn, but he could have just normal summoned and then mass changed, and he would have gotten Darklaw on the field and probably would have just won the duel, to be honest, because Revenant is going to come back. Now his opponent gets the Unizombie on field and he's going to be able to clean up, as he's going to send Slayer to the graveyard and he's going to summon it from the graveyard. Now notice he pitched Shadow Dragon to the graveyard as well for the tribute of the ritual summon, and that thing is going to get blown up. He's going to get hit with Regeki, but doesn't really matter all that much. He's just going to end up using the Revendred Origin from the graveyard, and that's just going to protect it. But you understand how if he would have dropped Darklaw turn 1, none of this would have happened. Now he's in a really bad position, and keep in mind, this Slayer does have the effect to pop a special summon monster. As you see, he goes for Utopia, which is going to get popped, and now Danklaw cannot really do anything. He could have suicided, but actually, I think I honestly would have suicided. Now, then he pretty much loses Danklaw for nothing. I think he said, what did he say? He said another Unizombie. Unizombies for days. He is going to finally use that Hero Lives, and Shadow Mist is going to come out. He's going to mass change for Anki, which I believe is going to get blown up, but that does put him in a very unique position where he can special summon the Bubble Man, and he can get 2 more draws out of it. So that was actually a kind of a nice play. He's going to go 10 Goldfish. He's going to go for 101. So actually, so far, this is kind of like a link format duel. If I was playing on Yugioh Pro, obviously knowing there's no link format yet, I would have went pure scumbag. I would have went for like totally awesome Bahamut Shark or something like that. Anyways, he goes 101. That is finally able to get rid of the Origin. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. He tops pre-preparation of Rites, if I'm not mistaken, and now he's able to bring he's just able to go for a synchro plays. He's able to summon Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. The 101 is semi-protected by its own effect, but it's just going to die to Slayer once he ritual summons that. Obviously, he cannot attack with Scarlight because he can't, he used Unizombie, and it's not a zombie monster. His last effort was, or his last ditch effort was pretty much I guess in the hands of that Quaking Mirror Force, but he ends up using the back row destruction effect, I can't pronounce for some reason, that Slayer was empowered with. So he got both of the Slayer effects, the one where your opponent has the special summon monster and you're able to, pop one of those monsters each turn, and then the one where you get the MST. Now this is going to be one against the True Draco deck. This is a Wind Witch There's a Winwitch version that also runs, I believe he's got some spellbooks in here as well. He's going to open with Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which can definitely be a problem for the Revendred archetype because, you know, Slayer is a high-level monster. And you can see here, it's a really, really solid opening, especially as he has Spellbook of Knowledge. He's going to take some burn damage. If you guys notice, turn 1, his Unizombie got blasted with Ghost Ogre, which isn't all that bad, but he has a very strong opening field. I would take this opening field. I'll take this against almost any deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Having the True Draco Heritage, having the defensive True King's Return in case your Dynamite dies. Chances are your Dynamite is going to give you a +1. You still have Crystal Wing on the field, and then if you're playing at least one more copy of Knowledge, you still have Blue Boy, and you can normal summon that. You can get Knowledge, draw 2 cards, and then you still have Diagram to, you know, maybe search a Masterpiece or something like that. So it's a very strong opening. He is going to take that, plus his opponent uses Shadow Fusion to get Shikanaga. Now he's going to activate a couple of Shadow effects. I believe that Crystal Wing is trying to negate Hedgehog, which I feel like it's dangerous because if he did have like a Shadow Dragon in his hand, Shikanaga could obviously just like pop the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Oh, no, it couldn't because it's immune to destruction effects. What the hell am I talking about? Anyways, Unizombie is going to come back from Mizuki, and looks like he's activating a couple of his True Draco traps, but Unizombie says, I give no fucks, I am coming back to the field, you cannot hold me down. He's gonna summon Slayer, and Slayer is going to go after Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and the True Draco Apocalypse, and it's looking actually pretty decent here, but I think that we might see a Masterpiece sighting. Oh, he has Soul Charge as well, so that is really bad. He's gonna activate Dynamite, he's chaining that to the Slayer, and yeah, with the Soul Charge play, chances are he can bring back some monsters. Now, I'm not sure if he's running Crystal Wing Fast Dragon, but that could definitely be a problem. I think when that card hits the TCG officially and everybody gets their copies, it's going to be a card you see a lot of. Now, if you noticed, actually, he did stop the Synchro play, or he stopped another Crystal Wing from coming out by getting rid of the Winwitch Snowbell. So when you look at that Soul Charge, I'm not actually sure how much it did, especially considering that Shikanaga is only half her defense, and he was not able to attack because of the Soul Charge. So he could have just ran over the Shikanaga, but hey, you know what? It's I guess it's a little bit of a judgment call. Now, it appears that he's trying to get rid of his back row so that he can constantly blow up monsters. The problem is blowing up the Shikanaga gives him Shadow Fusion back in his hand, and he does have the potential of just summoning another Shadow monster as he goes for Wenda here. He's going to use Squamata and Falco. That ain't Falco. Falco's going to get set. He's going to draw a card as well. And at this point, I really thought he was going to turn the duel around. I was like, man, I think that this match is over. He has board control. Granted, you can see that the True Draco player has a lot of, he has a lot of back row and he has the Dynamite, but I think that Double Slayer is very, very solid. So it looks like he's going after even more back row. And if you can keep your Slayers protected with a bunch of Origins, you can be in a very good position. Now, he's trying to chain here, and he is going to go ahead and use Origin. Wenda is going to activate. I feel like he might actually be out of Shadows. And here is the problem ultimately though. The problem is Masterpiece is going to get dropped, and I don't think he can actually kill that fucker. He gets Shikanaga back. He's going to make white well. Problem is, Shikanaga is not quite big enough to get rid of a Masterpiece. So at this point, the Shadow cards are just kind of dead. Him drawing, like L Shadow Fusion, which I think the regular Shadow Fusion is probably all he would have needed. He draws Max C, which is just another completely dead card. And, at this point, Masterpiece is just able to do work. So, he ends up losing this match, but it's perfectly understandable. Had he not had Masterpiece, I think that he might have actually taken the W there. And then for the final match is the I believe this is the second match against Heroes. Yeah, it is, because the Hero guy is going first because he lost the first duel. Luckily enough, he does not have access to Dark Law. And again, I think that Dark Law is really bad, especially as you see that he drew Max C. Imagine had he had Dark Law on the board turn 1, and you draw Max C after that, which is just terrible, and you have Solemn Warning, but it's like, oh god, I can't really use Solemn Warning when my opponent already has the Dark Law out. So he went for Utopia the Lightning, which I guess is an okay play, to be honest. Unizombie is going to come down. That's probably going to drop Mizuki. Oh no, that's going to get blasted by Ghost Ogre as well. Man, a lot of people using Ghost Ogre on Mizuki, even though it does allow the player to still get the Mizuki in the graveyard, or you saw him drop Slayer in the graveyard as well turn 1. I think it's a very interesting play, because you are, I mean, I think you're still taking a neg. So you see that it's going to summon Revenant, he summons the other one, and Slayer is going to come out. I believe Slayer has both effects now. Yeah, Slayer can pop a monster that was special summoned, and it can go after the back row, and that's important because he got rid of Starlight Road, and at this point, I think he's just getting rid of the back row systematically. Just 3 back row gone. He loses Mirror Force. He finally goes into the Omega play that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. This is really why I like the deck. I love the fact that you can go into Omega so easily, and that mass charge is just completely deadness. And he never actually got the Shadow Mist. He drew mass charge, he drew mass change, but he was never close to actually summoning any of the mass heroes. So that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed the duels, please let me know in the comment section below, or just thumbs up the video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. I gotta make way more videos because we got a hurricane coming in North Carolina, and if I don't have power for a few days, I gotta still have some type of content. I'll see you guys later, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Hopefully the hurricane doesn't completely wreck me. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audible.com/MegaCapitalG. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your mobile device. I'm listening to the amazing I Can't Make This Up by Kevin Hart. Link in the description.